Hello students, and now we are going to start our third video of computer science for grade 5. So we'll continue from where we stopped. We stopped at how we can use what is used Microsoft Excel. Why do we use it actually? We use it for data representation, means to create any sort of data, like you can make the names or the marks. That's why you can even make the charts and many more, and calculations like addition, subtraction. Let me show you. Repeat. For example, if you want to add, let's make it here, so move it. For example, if I want to add, as I say that if in Microsoft Excel, if you want to use any type of formula, you have to start with equal sign, equal, sum. For example, I want to add, sum means addition, add, choose columns, that means the cells you want to add together, and see, it's giving me the total of these columns. If I change any value here, see, it will automatically be changed. So this is why it makes easier for us to calculate bigger numbers. For example, if you have a big amount of data, it makes easier for us to calculate. It will do it by itself automatically. Okay, now let's move to question, what is chart? It says, what is chart? It is a pictorial representation of data. Now what does it mean? It is pictorial. That means the data I'm having, I can convert it into a representation. That means in a picture here. Let's, for example, I need to convert by this one. I will highlight, choose all of it. Okay, I will go to insert. Here I have a types of charts. I can choose any type of chart from here. Click on it, wait for a while, see my all this information, and I can choose the type of data I want here. Can move it from here like that. See, all my data is being converted into a chart. What is a chart? It is a pictorial representation of data. What is the meaning of worksheet? It is a collection of cells. It is a collection of cells. Come on. It is a collection of cells in a form of rows and columns. See here. These are sheet. If you see here, I have sheet 1. I can press if I need more. Sheet 2, sheet 3. Now what is a sheet? It is a representation of here columns. As I said, this one, the yellow, here column, and this red one will call as a row, and one square, this one is known as a cell. So what is the meaning of worksheet? It is a collection of cells in a form of rows and columns. That means I have cells in a collection, all of them are together in a form of columns and rows. How many worksheets are there in Excel by default? There are 3 worksheets in a workbook. Now here it says that when you open it by default, you will always have 3 worksheets. Later on you can extend 1, 2, 3. So you will have 3 worksheets whenever you open Microsoft Excel. What is a workbook? It is an Excel file. It is an Excel file. This whole file which you can see now here, book 1, this is known as a workbook, and in each workbook you will have 3 sheets by default, and later on you can add. How you can add? You can click on this plus sign here with the bottom edge, and you will have another sheet. What is a workbook? It is an Excel file. What is a cell? A cell is the intersection of row and column. A cell is the interaction of row and column. That means where your row and column, this is a cell. I'm repeating. This is known as a cell. I can make it a dark, let's say here. See this one, these squares are known as cells. What is a cell? A cell is the interaction of a row and a column. Why do we need a cell reference? To identify a cell. Why do I need a cell reference? That means where that cell is. To identify cell. Here. Cell reference. See, when I click on it, you can see F18. Now what is F? My F is column. F is for column. And 18 is what? Row 18. So if I click another cell, H20. H is what? H is my column. And 20 is my row. That means to identify the reference, it refers that this column is H20, means column H and row 20. What is a cell range? A cell range is a collection of continuous cells selected. Cell range, this one, for example, if I choose a cell range from here, see, this is a continuous cell range. So this is the continuous selection. That means I select this continuous selection more than one cells. This is known as a cell range. For example, from 7 to 20. So this would be my range, in between range. Okay. Now, what is an active cell? An active cell is the selected cell. That means the cell which you select is known as active. See, if I click on it, I can type. But here, see, it's typing only where I am selecting. The selected cell are known as active cell. What is a formula bar? A formula bar is a long bar present above the column of worksheet. It displays a formula or the data of an active cell. Here, this is known as a formula bar. See, when I click on it, it represents the data in an active cell. It represents the data in an active cell. So you can see that while I'm clicking, the data is being changing in this bar. Okay. Now here we are going for question number 8. How do you save an Excel file? By clicking on a save button on a quick access toolbar, we can save the file. How do you save an Excel file? By clicking on a save button on the quick access toolbar, we can save the file. Here, if I want to save file, quick access, from here you can choose save the file by clicking on a save button. What is a cell reference? It is a column, letter and a row number of cell. It's already repeated, and as I said, what is a cell reference? This one, C16, B7. So this is known as your cell reference. So that's for Microsoft Excel. Now we will move to what is an algorithm. What is an algorithm? What is an algorithm? Choose another color for this one. This one. What is an algorithm? An algorithm is a step-by-step process of doing tasks. Like in computer we say algorithm means steps. That means when you make a program, there are steps. That first step, second step. So in computer we use the term algorithm. So an algorithm is the step-by-step process of doing a task. What are the two tools of algorithm? That means what two things algorithm use, which two tools algorithm use? Flowchart and pseudocodes. P is silent, so pseudocodes. What is an algorithm? An algorithm is a step-by-step process of doing a task. So algorithm means the steps of a program, how that program is made, and we use two tools to make that algorithm: flowchart and pseudocodes. What is the meaning of flowchart? The second class. What is the meaning of flowchart? A flowchart are a graphical representation of algorithm. A flowchart are graphical representation of an algorithm. That means like a diagram, a graphical representation, graphic picture, that a diagram being drawn. We'll come to that in a few minutes. Flowchart are a graphical representation of an algorithm. What is pseudocode? It means false code. It is an information language that helps the programmer to develop an algorithm. Pseudocode is a language which programmer use to make an algorithm or a program. What are the types of programming statements? Sequential and conditional. These are the two types of programming programming statements: sequential and conditional. Write the pseudocode that can be used to display the sum of two numbers. So this is a pseudocode language, a programming language, a pseudocode which a programmer used to make a programming. This is simple. Sum means to add. Sum means here add. To add of two numbers. Start, begin. Start, input. Input means to insert. Input, that means you're adding A and B. Calculate, sum total is equal to A plus B. Display means show the sum, and the program is end. Like a calculators, that means insert A value. For example, A is equal to, for example, A is 1, for example, and B is 2. So sum is equal to 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. So display sum. So you will have the final display, which is going to be your 3, this one. Repeating, write a pseudocode that can be used to display the sum of two numbers. Start, begin, input, that means A. I gave an example, like for example, if A is 1 and B is 2, then calculate sum total A plus B, which is 1 plus 2, and your output would be 3, and display the sum. Now here, draw a flowchart that display the sum of two numbers. So this is known as, this is your flow chart. This is how you draw a flow chart. Start, input A and B, then here process input you will put A, sum is equal to A plus B, and display sum, and at the end this is end. Start, input is going to be your A or B, sum, the formula is equal to A plus B, display sum, that means it will show you the sum, and this is known as, this drawing or this diagram is known as your flow chart. Now we'll move to fill in the blanks. Font size and style are used to define a character's, choose another color for that, known as format. A font size and style are used to define a character's known as format. In right alignment, the text is aligned from the right hand side. In right alignment, the text is aligned from the right hand side. Picture and clip art are graphics. Graphic means picture that can be easily inserted. Insert means to enter or to put in slides. Slideshow, run the slides in full screen. That means when you make your presentation, you can make it run in whole screen. Sound files can be added to a presentation using insert tab. By clicking on an insert means to add, you can use the sound for your presentation. Format painter allows the user to copy the text format, not the text. That means format print, I will have the format of it instead of that text. LaTeX style is a font style where text is slanted. That means slanted, something slanted means bit turn here. Let me give an example. It will be something like, no pen, where's my pen? Here, like that. LaTeX something. It won't be straight like that. It will be bit turn. Yeah, mouse is here. Slanted. Now, slide transition is the way of moving from one slide to another. Transition is moving from one slide to another. Text alignment is a text layout of a paragraph. That means layout, how your paragraph will look. A program is a set of instructions. That means it's a set of instruction. It gives you an order, like how you're going to do that. Okay, here. An algorithm is an effective method of solving a problem using a sequence of instructions. That means an algorithm is the steps of an effective method solving a problem using a sequence instruction. That means one after another, step by step. Flowchart and pseudocodes are tools of algorithm. They are the tools of algorithm. What are the tools of algorithm? Which are your flowcharts and pseudocodes. A flowchart is a graphical representation of an algorithm. A flowchart, that means as I showed you here, this one. This is a graphical representation in a form of a diagram, is known as a flowchart. Terminator box represent the beginning or the ending of an algorithm. That means it start. A terminator box represent the beginning and the end. This one, this box here, this one and this box, starting and ending. In a sequential programming statements written first as execute first here, that means you execute first. That means what's written first, it will take that first. When the flow of a control of a program, let me highlight this part finished. When the flow of control of program is based on a condition, when uses conditional statements, that means if you have condition, if this thing happened, this need to be done. Formula once written can be easily copied the rest of the worksheet. That means once you've written a formula, it can be copied to a different rest of the sheet. The pictorial representation of data is called chart. Microsoft Excel is an application software. So most of these questions you will find, the fill in the blanks, you will find it in question and answers as well. MS Excel or Microsoft Excel data is a collection of many things to collected of the values, collection of the values in a form of rows and columns. Worksheet is a collection of cells. Excel file is known as workbook. Columns are arranged vertically. Rows are arranged horizontally, as I showed you. A cell is the intersection of rows and columns. MS Excel is an application software. MS Excel stores the data in a form of tables. Formula bar display the formula of an active cell. Columns in MS Excel are labeled as letters. As I told you, the columns are in letters and rows are in numbers. The mouse pointer change a plus sign on a worksheet. That means if you want to mouse pointer, this is a mouse pointer, changes the plus sign on a worksheets. Interaction of the rows and column is cell. Bar display the formula is equal to formula bar. First cell address of the worksheet is A2, that means the first cell. A collection of the continuous cell is known as cell range. So on. Extension of Excel worksheet is known as .xlsx. As the word we have .docx. Line text equal to control plus L. A line text writes equal to control plus R. Center is equal to, these are the shortcut keys. Center is equal to control plus E. CTRL stands for control plus E. You can find a control key at the bottom corner of your keyboard. Start slide shows from the first slide, F5, the shortcut key. Start slide, instead of going file and clicking on start, you can just press F5. These are known as a function key. Start from F1 to F10, but F5 is for start slide. When you open Microsoft PowerPoint and you press F5, the slideshow will start running. Start slideshow from the current side is Shift plus F5. Shift plus F5, what it will do, start the slideshow from the current slide. That means the slide which is active now. Thank you for thank you students so much. I hope you understand what I have explained in this worksheet. If you have any further questions, I'm available from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Please do ask me if there's any question. If you did not understand anything, let me know. Thank you so much.